We onboarded over 200 sales development reps for Stripe last year into the Sales OS program, and the challenge was really clear. You are right. Top performers will always follow the playbook. The mid to low, unfortunately, will try to cut corners, and this is where deals can sometimes get stuck. Replace your SDRs with a Claude system that books 50 meetings.
Today, we're breaking down something we've been building for 3 years. Luigi with 20 years in sales coaching, Regan leading GTM at Grant Thornton, and Dave, who built and exited Locomote for $75 million.
A lot of reps want coaching, not just enablement. They want real life coaching, but managers of those teams only have about 5% of time that can actually be given to those teams.
The number one problem statement for every sales org is adherence to the sales process.
If you're leading a sales team and wondering why your reps aren't following the playbook, this is the episode for you. Welcome to Revenue Leaders Podcast.
I'm back to the Revenue Leaders Podcast. I know that you tune in every week for me, and unfortunately I haven't been here for a while. So
bullshit. Sorry, I've just got a bit of a cough.
Okay, welcome to the Revenue Leaders Podcast. Very excited to be here today. I missed the last few episodes because in our business, somebody has to sell. He laughs because he just doesn't sell. But it's very exciting, Riggs, because the moment is here. We've been building something for a long time, and I know we give him shit, but we've been putting pressure on Dave to build something and build something fast, but we've actually got something we're really, really proud to share.
Yeah, and
we're launching.
It's something amazing, like something that I'm incredibly proud of, and we actually do have to give Dave credit here. So, Dave,
I didn't actually code the tool. I just led the engineering of it. So, but thank you to our team.
It's one compliment.
If that's all you did, what could you sell?
Is this the moment where we
stop the episode?
do we change CEO now?
Listen here, mate. All right. Nah, look, it is a long time coming. We have put a ridiculous amount of effort, obviously, into building what we wanted to build. You know, I guess the thing is, we've been in the sales space for a long time. Louis, you've been, a sales consultant, coach, call it what you want for 20 plus years. Riggs leading GTM at GT, right? So go to market at Grant Thornton, multi-billion-dollar company in Australia, leading that function. And we've built something quite special that we wish we had a long time ago, right? And while there might be components of what we're building out there in market, we truly believe that we've got something quite unique here, right?
Absolutely.
I think, Louis, do you want to sort of kick us off? Where did our aha moment come into play of why we decided to move away from, we had an education business, selling coaching and courses and playbook creation, to go, and you know what, this is something that we need to tackle.
Yeah, well, if we think, you think about from a go-to-market perspective or a sales perspective, the best teams have a playbook. And we've built hundreds and hundreds of playbooks for companies of all shapes and sizes. The one key problem statement will always come through, which is you build an incredible playbook. It looks great, shows extra criteria, buyer personas, objection handling, competitive positioning, all that wonderful stuff. But what often happens is individuals in organizations, there's only a few of them that would continue to refer back to it because it's not something that lives in their daily workflow. And this is a constant challenge. And yes, we've made a living off it, right? Having enablement sessions, keep reinforcing the playbook. But again, it's sitting outside of the workflow. And so the reason we built this is because the number one problem statement for every sales org is adherence to the sales process.
Yeah,
right?
and people would come and go, right?
Correct.
So like you have some, great reps. Some would adhere to it, some wouldn't. They would churn out. They get new people in. We basically had to kill our business model because every time new team members came in, it was a new opportunity to go in and sell coaching to get them up to skill, right? So we had to take a step back.
Correct. We onboarded over 200 sales development reps for Stripe last year, right? Into the Sales OS program. And again, the challenge was really clear. And you are right. Top performers will always follow the playbook. The mid to low, unfortunately, will try to cut corners, and this is where deals can sometimes get stuck. So the creation of this tool is essentially to enable every rep to follow best practice for every deal, every motion, and make sure that playbook is not just sitting on a shelf or not sitting in a Google Drive. It's actually living in their workflow. And so it's enabling them to execute the best possible sales experience every single time.
I love that. And I think that like just building on that from, what I've seen is when sellers aren't confident, and, I see this in professional services like all the time, is that you have to fit sales in, not like prioritizing sales at all times. For example, you've got such a big remit, and I think that partners at professional services firms can have literally the hardest job because they have to wear all hats. But when they get 15 minutes in a day to be able to do sales, this is what happens. It's like, oh, right, I've got 15 minutes. I'm going to open up this. So they'll open up CRM. And then if they're on dual screen, they'll go over here and open up LinkedIn. But they won't know what to do with that 15 minutes. There won't be any like, this is what I have to do within this time. So then that 15 minutes just goes like that. Yeah. So if we can help like guide, a range of industries, a range of sellers and sales teams to be able to open something up and like immediately know what my next step is, that to me is that reinforcement, that cultural change, that behavioral change over time that, enables teams to really outperform their previous behavior.
But Regan, I think for me, if I look at it, there's a lot of, you can get overwhelmed, right? You see AI and you jump on LinkedIn and it's like, comment Claude and I'll give you this, replace your SDRs with a Claude system that books 50 meetings. I call bullshit to all of that, right? We've
dead this way.
Yeah, we've taken it, we've had a look at it. But I think AI, the whole concept of AI replacing sellers, sure, there's some tools out there. If you're going to book a haircut, order a pizza, some really transactional stuff, no problems. But I was on a call today with a company that's managing, they've got over $60 billion in revenue that's moving through their system, right? Very complex sales process, long sales process. Their customers in APAC, FYI, there's only 86 companies they can target.
Jeez.
That's it. Yeah. 86. That's the entire list of companies that they can work with.
I mean, I love that they've got a very diligent IT client profile. That's amazing.
But, and within that, they've got to do mapping. It's long sales cycles. If there's an incumbent provider, they've got to wait it out, right? There's 6, 10, 20 stakeholders. The AI component can't replace that. But what we can, and this is what excites me so much about selling now and moving forward, is the way in which our AI tools, especially CoachPilot, can augment and enable me to just get better and better.
100%. Right? And in fact, with that, like just building on that, Louis, there was a moment of comfort for me the other day when I received Gartner's latest sales report, and it showed like all the difference in terms of what AI actually succeeds and what doesn't. Yeah. And I think it's like a 2.8x improvement on revenue when it's action-based AI with human. So that to me, I looked at that. I think I sent it to you guys and I'm like, what we're building this is it. Like this is validation. I guess like maybe for those playing at home though, and for you, Dave, like because we haven't actually explained what CoachPilot is. We're talking about, some of the things that it will potentially do. For those playing at home, what is CoachPilot?
So let's look at it in a day in the life, right? So like you would wake up and in the morning you'll get an email from CoachPilot and it's going to tell you these are the meetings you got today. It's going to have done the research for you on those companies. It's going to also review your pipeline on the deals that you've got currently in play, what's at risk. If something's at risk, it's going to tell you what you need to do in order to remove that risk. It's going to give you the play. It's going to give you the email, the cold call, the scripting on how you need to go out and sell, to remove that risk from that deal based on how your company sells, right? And then for the calls you have on during that day, it joins your calls. Now you might be thinking, I use Gong, I use Clary, I use this and that. There's 1,001 call recorder tools. Yep. And we've had to build one ourselves, right? For the main reason where we're taking a different approach to this where we give you live coaching on the call. So you'll get this sidebar that only you can see on a call. It's going to have your sales process. Now, whether you use one of those traditional selling processes like MedPeak, BANT, we cater to all those. And if you have a custom playbook, we can tailor to your custom sales process. And it's going to coach you on that. What does that coaching look like on a call? So what will happen is if you hear an objection on the call, our AI sidebar is going to present you with the ability to, how to deal with objections. It's going to prompt you on what you should say. It's going to tell you if you're speaking too fast, too slow, if you're overpowering the conversation based on best practice. And the beautiful thing of it is it's going to learn. So as more calls go through the platform within your company, as more deals close, as you lose deals, because everyone does, it's going to learn and adapt, and it's going to coach you based on what best practice looks like within the business. I finished the call, right? What happens after that? Then it's going to give me my post-call summary. It's based on your selling process. It's going to tell you what the follow-up email needs to be. Then it's going to prompt you with all the bits and pieces that you need to update in your CRM. So rather than going off and doing it by itself, because really you can't really trust that right now, it's going to give you the option to review, to make an edit, and then to let the agent go and do the work for you in the CRM with your approval only. And that's just what happens on and off a call.
Yeah. So Dave, so for those sitting, listening, going, it's great, Claude can do this, HubSpot Breeze can do it. How is this different?
So, that's one of the objections, that we expect that we're going to get a lot. So, and that's why we went down on building the call joining application. So whether it's a Chrome extension or a desktop app, CoachPilot, and we'll release the name of the agent soon on this podcast, we'll join that call. So that's nothing that those tools, so your Claude and your ChatGPT can't do that. Then it's going to give you your coaching score of that call. Yeah. So it's going to tell you where you did well, where you can improve on to help you become a better seller. And also the whole platform is built around context. So what do I mean about that? It's, if you look at all these LLM tools, they're good for breadth, right? We've spent the last year and a half giving it, 30 years of our intel on giving it extreme context based on the best selling patterns, what works, what doesn't work across every sales methodology, across the industries that we're focusing on. So the context that CoachPilot contains would take an individual months, if not years, to try and build that context up. Then, right, so the secret sauce that we, yet to talk about is we've built around these 4 to 5 IP layers. So there's a forecast score, coaching score, deal score, and a methodology score. What happens is, as every deal and every time your team use the platform, it becomes smarter. Yeah. It's going to be able to forecast a lot clearer because it's going to know that, okay, based on you hitting these certain gates, this deal is going to close on this appropriate time. And it's going to be an IP data set that only we have, that only CoachPilot has. And then it's got anomalized data across the industry that you're in. So if you're in, let's call it, professional services, you're going to be able to see what does great look like in professional services,
which is pretty cool
in my sector.
Because then you can benchmark yourself and say, hey, like I've got some gaps or I've got some opportunities. So what I'm hearing, it's a leading thing, is it's sitting over your CRM. So it's essentially now, instead of going to a CRM where you're having to input data, you've got a tool that's essentially extracting and giving me insight and making me smarter on deals and showing me where I need to focus my time and attention to.
Correct. It's the AI layer that sits on top of your CRM, right? The CRM is the system of record. We're the AI layer of intelligence that trains you and coaches you on how to move a deal from your first meeting all the way through to close one.
And Regan, I don't know about you, but what I love about what we've built, right? And if I wasn't part of this founding team and I'm looking externally as a seller, the thing that makes me so excited is I don't fear this tool because it's not replacing me. It's fundamentally, I know I sell, I got a bag, I'm cold calling, I'm cold emailing, I'm going out, and I'm seeing this as the opportunity for me to actually do not do less, but do the things that I need to do more of.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the key for me. It's super hard at the moment for me, regardless whether you're using recording tools, there's a whole bunch of things that I need to be reviewing to give me that insight to know what I need to do differently to get a better result. And this is what I love about this. I can see this literally live as I'm working each and every day.
But for multiple layers of the organization too, right? So like one of the things that kind of really helped my thinking around this was, there's certain conversations in your career that just like ring true.
Yeah.
I had a leader once say to me, like in GT, I put as much detail in our CRM as like I should. I'm diligent. It's part of my practice. I can understand why I need to put it in, but what do I get out of it? And yes, you can get your metrics and that it will record your opportunity values and whatnot. But so if I think about that, as a professional services person or sales rep, you want to be able to put stuff in to get inside out. This actually gives you way beyond that. A lot of reps want coaching, not just enablement. They want real life coaching. Yeah. But managers of those teams only have about 5% of time that can actually be given to those teams. So this one helps support management on helping scale the capability of their team. But then to your point, like there's a lot of, insights for managers, for leaders that actually go beyond the seller and not in a surveillance way or anything. It's more like this absolute insight for every single layer of an organization that wants to grow. And going back to your point around like, it's not going to replace me. This is to enable me to do the best possible work. And what I find is like, if we're helping coach them, supporting their enablement side, supporting the revenue and behavioral side for leaders, there is going to be this huge shift in how, sales behavior is improved over time, but then ultimately the bottom line, because every organization in sales will have a layer or multiple layers of tech.
Yeah.
But what's happened and what I've seen, and I've kind of built this myself, is like you've got intent over here, CRM over there, you've got your social connection there, and there's just so much. It's like, how do you kind of bring a lot of that all together? And that's something that I'm incredibly proud of.
And, I think I saw some stuff from the Australian Fin Reviews AI Summit, and some of the stats were quite alarming, right? Like, pardon the interruption, I'm Luigi, one of the co-hosts here at Revenue Leaders. You'll notice we don't run sponsors or ads on Revenue Leaders.
This show is free. Our goal is to help you grow revenue and build your sales system that you can rely on. We do have a favor to ask though.
If this episode gives you one clear idea that you can use, do these two things. First, share it with one person, a founder, a revenue leader, or a rep who wants to grow their business. Just one. That's how the show grows.
Second, grab free access to our vault over at CoachPilot.com/vault. Inside, you'll get the frameworks, templates, and short courses we use with clients to help them scale pipeline and increase win rates.
So the deal is simple. If you get value, share the episode with one person and go to CoachPilot.com/vault to get the tools to put this into action. All right, let's get back to it.
50% of employees are using unapproved AI tools. And I think for me, again, what gives me so much confidence about what we're doing is we know that teams, they're using it, right? They're using, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. And what that means for an organization is if they're drafting emails, they're all getting different messaging, right? It's all inconsistent. So what's happening is they're going to market with a very inconsistent message framework, and the customer's fundamentally on the receiving end of this. And so we know that by implementing something like this, it allows organizations to get very clear, it's governed, it's in a controlled environment, and ultimately they can control based on their playbook. Because, there were some interesting stats as well. 30% really trust AI. And so for me, showcasing that, hey, this is not generic. This is very, very specific to your playbook, to your sales methodology, to your motion, inbound, outbound, partner-led. Doesn't matter what it is. We can really engineer it so that it's fit to purpose.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one thing I want to touch on that you mentioned, Riggs, is that, we didn't build this as a surveillance tool.
Yeah.
Right? Like our mission as CoachPilot is to help every company in the world grow confidently. Right? So in order for us to achieve our mission, we need people to be able to trust us, right? And not just trust from a brand perspective, but trust us in relation to the output that the tool is providing them. Trust us in relation to the confidence scoring that they're getting. So everything that we do goes for this real severe trust layer. So whether you're a founder or a manager, because we rarely spoke about those user types yet, it's not about you surveilling your team. And if you think that your manager or the founder is, surveying you, then you've got a bit of a closed mindset there. It's about them helping you and enabling you. So rather than you having to have 100 one-on-one meetings with them, they will be able to see across all the calls, across, say you got a team of 5 sellers or a team of 5,000, what are the best sellers doing? Yeah. What are the gaps with my other sellers where they can improve? And how can I enable them to improve? And that's what we want to do.
100%.
And Dave, we know coaching, like sales coaching, has a direct positive impact to win rate. Right? But the problem is the ability to do coaching is hard for many sales leaders because getting the right information that they need to be able to coach is somewhat difficult. Yeah. So this allows them to get access to that information literally, immediately. So again, if there's so many great opportunities here, and we know that AI native companies, the ones that are truly leveraging AI as part of their DNA, their revenue and their profits are significantly higher now than businesses that are just adding AI as a layer, not integrating it into their business. So I think that's something to also think about, is what fundamentally what CoachPilot and what we're building here is not to just add essentially a layer. It's to help organizations move to that native space. So it becomes part of the operating rhythm.
Action oriented, because
Absolutely.
A lot of, to your point, is that a lot of organizations have put in an LLM.
Yeah.
But then, I was talking about this with someone last night, is that they needed to, one of their team members was trying to save like an hour a week on doing a particular task. So they spent 16 hours on building an agent to do it. It's like, great, you've got to use that and it's got to be perfect because otherwise, like for the next 3 months, you're still making up time. So, we're seeing that, like, yes, AI experimentation and all of that sort of stuff. What I think is missing is that action-oriented piece, taking those insights, being able to be then, what is your next step, whether you're a leader, whether you're, a seller. And to your point around the manager piece is that, like, coaching is one part of your job. You also need to make sure that, like, around delivery, like everything. So if we can help enable leaders be better for their teams, like, there's just a flow-on effect of this that I've bought a lot of different tech and used a lot of different tech in sales. To me, this is something truly, truly unique. And the only other time I've been able to say that is on LinkedIn and LinkedIn Sales Navigator, because they're a one of one.
Yeah.
And while, yes, we have competitors, like, I really do believe that we are a one of one.
Yeah, look, and we're going all in on this, right? Like, this is our everything. There's no side projects. There's no, consulting or stuff that we're doing on the side. Like, this is, we believe so deep in what we're producing, what we're doing, our vision, the mission of the business, the actual product itself, that we're going all in to the point where, we went down the road of raising capital. We received, acceptance, and then we denied it. Yeah. Right. We denied it mainly because it wasn't the right fit. For us, from a financial perspective, we're fortunate enough that we can self-fund this business, which we're fortunate and lucky enough to do.
And we're selling our way to growth.
Well, that's right.
Like, that's right.
Well, I think that's I love this story because we are literally selling and getting customers to help fund the growth of our business.
That's right, in a good way, right?
In a really For me, that says a lot. You're not just buying a tech. A lot of people look at it. Yes, you're raising capital, etc., which sounds great, but I think this gives confidence to companies buying CoachPilot, see, we literally live what we breathe.
Yeah, we're dog
right?
fooding our own product. We're using our product ourselves to,
Dog food.
Yeah.
you know,
Where the
that's,
fuck did that actually come
that's
from?
a term.
food. Oh,
It's because
someone
you're
said
not from the tech world, mate. It's called dog food. It's a tech thing. You know this guy. Just a little bit of a thing here. When I sent to a message to Louis in Slack the other day, and I was like, TLDR. He's like, what's TLDR? I'm like, if there's ever an acronym to sum up you, it's this. Too long, didn't read, you fool. But like, we're using our product every day to build in, you know, what does a seller need? What does a manager need? Like, you know, I'm trialing 1,000 tools a month.
Yeah.
My feed, like yours, is jammed with all this Claude shit. And not all of it is shit. Like a lot of it
Some of it's actually not bad.
Some of it's good, right? But, you know, the dream that people are selling that, you know, it's going to do your dishes and sell for you while you sit in the...
But we've been here before, right? Sales
right.
engagement platforms, right?
That's
That
right.
we've been here. We've been at this point in from a selling landscape where do this and you'll have countless meetings come into your pipeline. And I tell you, this is for me, there's two types of sellers. There's ones that, yes, there are some techniques and tactics you can take from, you know, some of these growth experts. But fundamentally, what you can't replace is the work required to win in selling. And
That's right.
absolutely.
that is going to be and we're seeing this. Like, I can't tell you, I have never received so many outreach emails from people I got one yesterday on LinkedIn, and I actually was so pissed off. I said, why is this relevant to me? Yeah. Right?
This
and I
comes
have
down
got
to the
no
trust.
response back. Exactly.
And that's why with us, right, you'll never see any bullshit outlandish claims like it's going to 10x your pipeline or whatever, unless we can prove it that
Yeah,
it's
that's
worked.
right.
And if it has worked, we're going to say it worked for this
Yes,
industry.
and this is how they did
in
it.
this scenario. And we're going to outline this is how they did it so you can replicate it, right? Like trust for us, especially in this space where there's a lot of distrust, a lot of crazy outlandish claims, and people get sucked into it and bought into it, which, you know, we've been victim of that too, thinking that we can outsource X, Y, Z and our calendars are going to be full, and then only for it to be a waste of time and money. You know, that's one of the things that we're putting so much effort into earning people's trust that, you know, that if you're going to sign up for this, if you're going to use it, then it's going to deliver what we promised.
I think that this is why, as like three founders, this is why we've almost gravitated towards each other. Like, is humor. Like, I absolutely love you guys for the fact that we can have a laugh in what we do, but I think as well we all have this like ethical North Star of like an absolute true commitment in what we're doing. That is, you know, there's no shortcuts, like you said, no shortcuts. Like it is, we back up what we say with absolute fact. And we make sure that everything that we do is with a level of diligence and, you know, like the fact that we've already done our like ISO compliance and all of that. Like we want to make sure that we are like we tick all the right boxes for our clients because our clients are number one. But that's like, I appreciate that about us is that we've all got that commonality. Trust is the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, should we release the name, the brand?
Let's
that we're
do
calling
it.
All right. So we're calling it the agent that lives inside of CoachPilot. It's called Ricavi. Right. So we wanted to give it a bit of a brand name, you know, a bit of a meaning behind it. So Ricavi, if you don't know, is the Italian word for revenues. You know, that's right. I'm doing the hand gesture here going, oh, right? Because end of the day, our core focus is helping you drive revenue, right? Like that's our number one goal. You know, you got to trust it and it's got to work. And in the day, if we can't improve your revenue, then we haven't done our job. So we thought it was a very, you know, good name.
Yeah.
I could also get the domain name, which is great. Ricavi.io if it costs me
We should have budgel.com.
Budgel.com.
Budgel. Everyone knows Budgel.
Unfortunately, if he might miss on a risky penalty spot, but let's not go back to 94.
Why did you have to kill it? My childhood.
Childhood.
He's my idol.
He's a lot of our idols. But anyway, let's stick to on point. So Ricavi is the name of the agent. So you'll start to see CoachPilot talk about Ricavi a lot. If you go to our website, coachpilot.com, you'll see, you know, Ricavi's all over the place. And then you see this little funny goat.
Yes.
Right? And people
The
like
goat.
goats. And we want to give our brand a bit of character, a bit of life, and actually to stand out because you've probably seen 1,000 AI tools. They're all probably black or orange and have got some weird little icon, no real personality, no real character. And the goat, you know, really it's stubborn, right? And we feel like, as a salesperson, you need to have that grind, that resilience.
Yeah.
You need to be sure-footed and a little bit stubborn and also to follow the process. And you need to have that sort of confidence. And we felt like that GOAT personified that as well, right?
And I think for us as founders, and this is the one that really resonated with me, is that legit goats climb where others don't.
That's pretty good, actually. Did you prepare that, or
no? He put it in our document that you haven't read.
It's the LDR. That's right. The goat goes where no one wants to go. It makes those hard treks, those hard walks, and let's face it, like sales is a hard game, right? And there's no silver bullet out there. We're hoping not to provide a silver bullet, but to be that really ace up your sleeve that can help you, make sales easier.
We can help you become the greatest of all time. Right?
Wouldn't it be amazing where people actually want to go into business and want to sell because they know they've got the right tool, they've got the help, the guidance, and it's actually a profession of choice rather than seen as something that's a bit, greasy or sleazy that you're in sales. It's the number one thing that helps, the economy move around. It helps companies grow, builds amazing brands. So it should be something that's celebrated that you're in this space of being a salesperson.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love the GOAT concept. I love the whole concept of, there's sellers out there, President's Club, they're all trying to strive to be in that top 1%. And we can help more people get to that point of success. And this is what, for me, is really driving my energy on this, is because for the first time, especially in a virtual selling world, there's a lot of tools out there that can record and give you the post-call analytics, but there's nothing that can do it during. And sometimes that's when you need the most help, right? So it's helping ramp new sellers to deliver on the playbook faster. It's helping the existing get that level of insight. So there's so many benefits for an individual seller to turn them into a high performing contributor.
Yeah,
and so it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We argue like cat and dog. I think Bella, Louis, your daughter came into the kitchen. She's like, guys, you're fighting like an old married couple, right? And if you're listening to this, that's good for you, right? Because the reason why we're fighting so much is that, because we've got clear focus and, we haven't taken billions of dollars of outside capital, we're really focused on whatever we bring to market, whatever the next development we bring needs to be the right thing, right?
Yeah.
In a world where you can build anything and build everything fast, tools can quickly become bloated and then just get forgotten because you can do so much. So we're always arguing about, okay, what is the next release that we're going to do? What's going to help a manager? What's going to help a seller? What's going to help bring more confidence, more trust to what we're doing, right? And we have good arguments.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're amazing. I'm actually I love them, to be honest.
Yeah. But I think the core focus, and this is from a trust perspective, the core focus for us is, this is not just about creating features for the sake of features. It's about really, and this is, we've done it. We've gone on the road with our ICPs to understand sellers, how they behave, how they interact, why they don't complete the CRM. How does the lack of information in front of a customer impact the conversation? Like we've literally gone down to that level of granular detail. And everything we're building is about solving that key problem statement, right? It's about continuing to make it easier for sellers to engage their customers and improve that experience with their clients.
And that's the thing that we go to bed dreaming about, wake up thinking about, right? And that's the differentiator, if you look at it, right? We are focused on building something that solves that one core problem rather than 1,000 problems, right? So that comes down to, how you're different from a Claude and this and that, is that we're single-eyed focused that the platform needs to drive revenue.
Absolutely.
And that statement that you just made there, Louis, is all we think about.
That's it. And at the end of the day, you can piecemeal things together. You can piecemeal. You can go to Codex, you can go to a live artifact, but this is a very small percentage of the population will be able to put that together. And it's hard to keep them working together. And you know what? You're not going to get the full picture. And this is why people talk about, you can just build stuff in a week. Yeah, no problem. Go give it a go. Give it a crack. See how it works with your team out on the road, and all the nuances that happen, and not feed it updated information. It just doesn't. It's not a long-term solve. Right?
Yeah, we spent weeks with our ideal customers literally on the road with them,
Yeah.
seeing how they interact with customers, what
Yeah.
they do when they hop in the car, what
Account
they do.
plans,
Yeah.
pre-call planners, like all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Like to give us that insight into, okay, well, if we're going to build X, that's the wrong way to build something because they're not always in front of their laptop.
Correct.
You know, they're on the road. So it needs to do certain things on the phone versus what it does on the laptop. You know, so like that sort of insight there, it's hard to garner. You can't just have a phone call with someone to get that. Like we spent months doing that, as painful as it was.
Yeah. And we've built hundreds of playbooks. Like this is the other
That's
thing,
right.
And across so many different verticals, consumer, business to business. Like we've done it. We've been there. We've seen it. We've seen people that use it, people that don't, people that hate their CRM, people that hate their CRM even more, and people that absolutely despise their CRM. I don't think I've ever spoken to someone that loves their CRM. So, for me, this is all about bringing that, you know, that real sharpening that arrow so that our users can really penetrate the market even further.
So who would you say, right? Because I don't want this to come across like it's, you know, CoachPilot Rikavi is going to solve all your problems and it's for everyone, because we're not. You know, we're really specific on who we can help. So who is not an ideal customer for us, Louis?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Go,
I'll
Reece.
jump in if you don't mind,
Yeah.
right? So I had a conversation with like a CEO around this once, and he's just like, yeah, why would I need this? And I know I was talking to him about from his perspective. And I was like, you know, can you accurately trust your forecasting? Yes. I'm like, okay. Can you accurately trust that your sales reps are putting everything into the system accurately? Yes. Okay. Can you say that they know every single step within that sales process to 100%? Yes. All right. Then you're not meant for us. If you are open-minded to the fact of constant improvement, if you're open-minded to always thinking about new ways and truly supporting your people and getting the visualization for yourself as a leader, that's the sort of organization that suits us. Like, you know, I'm not in the business of selling for selling's sake. Like I'm in the business of helping businesses grow. Like I get an absolute kick out of that.
I think you are right.
And I think that, so if I'm thinking about who's not, it's those ones who think that think or may even be absolutely amazing at what they do. They're experiencing hyper growth. But I also think that like markets change, you know, technology changes, your sales teams change. There is opportunity here for a lot of different businesses if you're wanting to look at growth.
You've got to have the mindset that if you're really resisting the emerging tech that's coming, it's going to be very difficult for us to position it with them anyway, right? Like, and there are companies out there that are very resistant. We're talking to businesses that still don't have a CRM, which actually blows my mind, right? So they are really early. From their maturity perspective, they are super early in that space. And there are unfortunately still many companies that are super resistant to this. They're super resistant to bringing in any type of process-driven motion to their sales force and have consistency over the way they manage pipeline. There are actually so many businesses that are still not keen to move to that type of motion. For us, if they're not open to change, it's actually the wrong type of profile for us. It's a psychographic sort of characteristics that we're trying to look at. And the great thing is there are a lot of companies that fit the other, right? We're seeing this. We're seeing this with industries that one would think they'd adopt it late. Legal, accounting. They have been the best, probably the early adopters of AI, right? It's starting to really change the way in which they operationalize some of the administrative components of their job. So, you know, we have a very clearly defined ICP. We know who we want to serve, and we also know the ones that we probably will have to wait until they have made that shift, because we know if people aren't open to change, no matter what you do, if there's no will to develop the skill, there's no way to change it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look, you know, we haven't even scratched the surface of, you know, the platform, what it can do. We're not going to, you know, go into that super granular detail now. So, but if you're interested in anything that we spoke about, just go check out coachpilot.com. And if it resonates and it's something that you think you would like to learn more about, reach out to us because you end up talking to one of us on this on the podcast
Won't
now.
be Dave. Dave doesn't sell.
You probably talk to Louis or Regan and just reference my name and they'll look after you. But this is like the why behind the brand and why we've been working so hard on this product and why we're so pumped to get it out to everyone. So yeah, definitely worth checking it out and we'll see you on the next episode.